Well, first of all, Chris, explain the beanie and why it means so much to you.
Oh yeah, obviously the fundraising week, the big freeze at the G for raising money for motor neurone disease. Neil Danaher, a great friend of mine, the man who gave me my first job in AFL footy, and I worked with him for 10 years at Melbourne Footy Club. He's the man driving the cause. I think he's an inspiration to all of us, and I think the least we can do is support his one big week of the year and try and raise as much money for motor neurone disease research as we can. Obviously, it's not going to help Neil get better, but you know he's got a greater purpose in his life now, and that is to make sure that in generations to come the research is done and that this terrible disease doesn't claim the lives of many, many more people.
The news on Schache, Fags, like obviously great news for the club as it decided to extend.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? It feels like the tide's turning. You know, Jared Berry and Tommy Cutler re-signed a few weeks ago, and now Josh has confirmed his commitment to the club. I think it's a great reflection on the direction that we're taking. It shows that the boys believe in what we're doing and that we're creating an environment where they can improve and get better, and they can see some light at the end of the tunnel. So, you know, hopefully Josh is just one of a number of players who make that commitment to the club as we go forward this year.
Seems to be a bit of a turnaround. He went home for a couple of weeks, and did that just clear his head or get him into the right space?
No, look, we let a number of our players go home at different times during the season, particularly the younger ones. Sometimes AFL football can become a little bit overwhelming, and you just need that chance to freshen up, and that's what we did with Josh. I mean, we understood that, you know, he was making some decisions, but he didn't actually go home to come back to tell us what his decision was. That wasn't the intent. We didn't actually know when that news was going to come out, but fortunately it's come up today, and you know, great work done by Dave Noble and Dom Ambrogio, our list manager, and Josh is now committed to our club for another 2 years, which is great news.
You pick him up at number 2 on the draft, but the fact that he's choosing to stay is the important thing.
Oh, absolutely, it's important, and I think it's also a reflection of the great mateship that exists between our players, and particularly the younger group. A lot of them have come here together and moved away from home and making their niche up here in Brisbane, and you know, that all goes well for our future.
Where's he play tomorrow? Is it twos or the ones?
No, he'll play in the reserves. His form wasn't up to scratch 2 or 3 weeks ago. He hasn't played for a couple of weeks, so he'll play in the NEFL, and if he can string some good games together, then he'll make his way back into the AFL team.
You got Freo at a bad time. They're coming off a couple of losses.
Oh no, we're looking forward to the game. Freo are a good team. You know, every team we play we respect because we're a young up-and-coming team, and we're generally younger, more inexperienced, all of those sorts of things. But we come back from our bye refreshed and looking forward to taking on Freo and putting our hand up and playing well.
Just one more on Josh, Chris. There was a lot of speculation around his contract status. Were you ever concerned that he was not going to recommit?
Yeah, I thought there was a chance. I think I probably indicated that the number of times that I spoke about it. There's always a chance of that. But I was always hopeful that he'd stay. But you never know until they come out with those words. So very pleasing.
Have you spoken to him at all, Fags? Have you spoken to him since he's made the decision?
Well, it hasn't been out long. So I've had a couple of quick hellos today and said thank you and said what a great thing it was. But no, we don't want to make too much fuss. Well, we're very, very pleased, obviously, but we are when any of our players re-sign and commit to the club.
You're in a tougher position than most clubs in that a lot of your players come from elsewhere, so that there is that homesick factor, isn't there?
Yeah, there can be that, but you've got to make your club a good enough place for them where they feel like they're learning and improving every day to want to stay and build mateships, so and to look after them off the field as well. So we think we're doing as good a job as we can with that, and as good a job as any club in the AFL.
There's a bit of an underlying threat to not play him in seniors if he didn't re-sign, Chris. Do you think that played any part in him in this decision that he wants to enjoy his footy while he's still here?
No, that wasn't an underlying threat. I mean, that's common sense. If you're with a club and they're not going to play finals and you're in development mode, then you're not going to play a young player who's decided he's going to go somewhere else next year. That's common sense. So I don't think that had anything to do with it, and I think if you had have asked Josh what he thought we should do if he had made that decision, he would have gone play me in the NEFL for the rest of the year, I'm pretty sure.
Do you think he'll regain his form a bit more easily now that he's maybe shaken free of this decision?
Well, you'd hope so. He should have a clear mind. That's what we're hoping for, but we just got to wait and see with that.
Just on Freo as well.
Oh, that's right. We're playing a game this weekend.
Yeah, should get 1 or 2 of them. Just your first 10 games, you've probably done a lot of reflection since you've had the bye. One of your big aims coming into the season was to improve your team defence. And that's probably only been maybe 8 or 10 points a game on last year. Why do you think that hasn't translated to the scoreboard maybe as quickly as you'd hope?
Yeah, well, it is 8 or 10 points better.
It is.
So that's good. So that's improvement. I think, funnily enough, I think it's been more our ball use and some of the turnovers that we make. They're pretty hard to defend. So as much as anything, we need to improve our ball use, particularly from the back end. So that'll be a focus coming into the second part of the year.